Hi guys, welcome back to another tutorial. So this video is just going to be an introductory video explaining how to make a perfect palazzo jumpsuit, the measurements and everything you need to know before we go into the tutorial proper. If you're interested, stick around and keep watching this video. So I'm going to be using this particular jumpsuit on me as a case study. We're going to do a proper tutorial, but this is the one I'm going to be using as a case study for this explanation, because there are some things you need to understand before you even pick up a paper to draft your jumpsuit pattern. Now you can see this jumpsuit on me. You would know, even if you're a beginner, you would know that jumpsuit is just the combination of your basic bodice and your trouser pattern. But now you need to get this middle point very well. You need to get the measurement at the middle, because if you get it wrong, the measurement at this middle point where I'm tying would determine whether your crotch will be too tight or it will be too loose, or you would have like bulge at the back of your jumpsuit, the zip area. Now understand that to get a perfect jumpsuit, no matter your size, you will need to add a high waist pant to the upper part, that's the upper bodies. So a high waist pant, not a low waist pant. You know, I explained in my previous video that if you want a low waist pant, as you want your pant to start from the normal part, you will tie the lower part of your waist, or you just divide your hip by 4 and draft out your pant. That's how to get a low waist pant. Then if you want a high waist pant, you're going to tie the higher part of your waist, or you divide your hip by 4 and add 2 inches. The difference between a jumpsuit and a trouser now is that you can decide to use a low waist pattern for your trouser, but when you're making a jumpsuit, it is cuter, it is finer, and it sits better on the body when you use a high waist trouser pattern to join your bodies. That's how it, if you check so many jumpsuits, if you check many jumpsuits online that sit really pretty on the body, you would see that the trouser, the lower part, is usually a high waist pattern. So high waist pattern. And if you want to get your measurement for your high waist pants, just like I did in my previous video, you would tie something at the softest part of your waist. That's this high part of your waist where I'm tying now. You're going to tie something there. You sit on a chair, on a flat surface. You can refer to my previous video on how to draft a pant, a high waist palazzo pant. You tie that softest part of your waist, the high part of your waist, you sit on a chair and measure it. Alternatively, if your client is not available and they want a high waist pattern, a high waist pant pattern for their jumpsuit, what you want to do is divide your hip by 4. When you divide your hip by 4, whatever measurement you get is going to be around your navel area. Your navel area, that's where it's going to fall on. Now your jumpsuit pattern should not start on your navel area. It will be a little bit low, but if you want it on your navel area, you can still do that if you know you're going to get that snatch effect. But you want to come up 1 inch or 2 inches from your navel area before you draft it. Now that we've explained the lower part of the jumpsuit, let's move to the upper part. If you are using a high waist pattern for the lower part, now you want to make sure that what you're using for the upper part corresponds, so that it will not be too long and you're not going to have that fold at the middle or fold at your crotch area. If you are tying your waist to take your measurement, to take the measurement of your client, make sure that when you measure down the length, from that place you have tied, you're going to now take your measurement up also for your upper bodies, so that your upper body is not going to be too long or it's not going to be too short. Because if your upper body is too short, if this height, that's the length of your upper body, is too short, the crotch area is going to be very tight, and if it's too long, your crotch area is going to be too loose. You're going to be having like sagged crotch area or folded crotch area. So to elaborate, this is the pant pattern from our previous video, from the previous video I posted. You can watch, I think I have about 3 of them, both the drafting, the sewing and the freehand method. You can watch them. And this is a basic bodice I have, my basic bodice. So in our next tutorial, I'm going to explain like in details. I'm going to draft a pattern for the upper bodies and I'm going to draft a pattern for the trouser. So you may want to stick around, because for the trouser part, I'm going to be drafting a totally different method from the previous one we have on this channel, because people have been asking for a different method. So just like I'm doing, once you've measured from that place you tied down, you will not take your measurement from your shoulder to the place you've tied for your upper bodies, because it must correspond. Look at this one I have. The lower part and the upper part, if I put it, is the exact. I didn't use this pattern to draft this jumpsuit. I think I used freehand, but you see that the pattern is the exact thing, because if you use that measurement correctly, you can't go wrong. This explanation, like I said, I'm just doing this explanation so that when I start drafting, you're not going to be confused. Everything has to do with this middle part. If you get it wrong, that's where the whole issue is going to be. So I'm going to do a drafting tutorial and a sewing tutorial on making a palazzo jumpsuit. If you're interested, stick around. If you have questions, you can also let me know, so that when I'm doing the cutting and sewing tutorial, I'm going to put your questions into consideration. I hope you found this video helpful at all. If you did, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and share to others. It may be helpful too. Then turn on your notification bell, because we are going to be doing a drafting, cutting and sewing tutorial for jumpsuit. And then if you have any specific challenges when you are making a jumpsuit, be it palazzo, fitted, any type of jumpsuit, you can also let me know, so that I would add that or take note when I am doing the actual tutorial. See you in my next video. Until then, keep winning.